Well, Wally, I missed you when you were here yesterday.
Just came by to check up. I thought maybe the old sheet might have folded since I was gone.
Well, it's a struggle without you, but we're managing. How's the Army?
It's going to be all right from now on.
Drop in before you leave town.
Yeah, I'll be here a couple of days. Any problems come up you can't handle, why, just give me a buzz.
I'll do that.
Hiya, fellas.
Well, here's the white hope of the United Nations.
Glad to see you. Hi, Wally. Hello, Joe.
Have you seen this?
I don't photograph as well as I used to.
Well, that officer's uniform you're going to get will add a little class to your pictures.
That officer's uniform will add class, period.
You should complain. You've done all right. 6 months in the Army, and you're a corporal on your way to get a commission. I hope General Marshall's got his stars nailed down.
You aren't kidding, brother. The higher you go in this Army, the easier the touch. I found that out. Might as well go first class. It's just as easy to give orders as it is to take.
Sounds like you're putting this war on a very selfish basis.
Is there another basis?
Hello. Yeah. All right, I'll try to settle the argument for you. What is it? Well, you'll have to hold on. Take a little time to look that up.
What do they want to know?
Who led the American League in batting in 1938?
DiMaggio.
DiMaggio was 13th. Jimmy Fox led.
You're wrong. DiMaggio
Jimmy Fox at bat 565 times. Base hits 197, percentage 349.
Hello. Here it is. Jimmy Fox at bat 565, hits 197, percentage 349. Well, the Army hasn't hurt that trick mind of yours.
And it won't either.
Can I get y'all something? Some headache tablets?
It's all right, Bertie. She's just, you know.
Oh, Miss Edwards, it ain't nothing to carry on about. You ought to be glad. His great-grandpappy was a general.
Emmy, will you hush up? He's only going to officer school. You carry on as if he's going to face the whole German army alone. Now, hush up. Do you hear me?
I thought you'd be proud.
The matter with her is, George, she's no longer able to wait on your hand and foot. Do your thinking for you.
How can you say that? He's the last of the line. What happens to the family tree if he gets killed?
Things like that aren't important anymore, Mother.
Family trees. If we lose this war, that's the last thing you'll have to worry about.
I think I'll take a walk.
John, it's your house. Another baby, maybe, huh?
Mama.
My boy.
You're getting big. A lot of stars, Father. Enough to make you 2 generals.
One for each boy from my parish.
Alex! Pop! My boy. The neighbors on the porch, Father Dolan. I think maybe you're wounded in battle. Maybe killed.
Not yet, Papa, not yet. I'm going to live to throw the Nazis out of Grandpapa's house in Warsaw.
Yeah, John, Alex is going to be an officer.
I'm going to try to be an officer.
A lieutenant, no less. He's on his way to school now.
So, a lieutenant. a son of a Polish immigrant, an officer in the Army of the United States.
It's the miracle of America, Jan.
This is Camp Davis, one of America's great military training centers. Here, the finest specimens of young American manhood, carefully selected from the ranks as candidates for commissions in the Anti-Aircraft Command, receive intensive training for leadership. Rigorous physical routines to harden the body and quicken the mind. Infantry drill and forced marches over all sorts of terrain. Precision maneuvers and a complete and deadly training in commando tactics, which make American officers and men the most feared fighters on all the world's far-flung battlefronts. Here is an anti-aircraft crew loading and firing 40 and 90-millimeter batteries. Guns of our air defenses with speed and incredible accuracy. From all parts of the country they come, from office, factory, farm, and mine, worker and playboy alike, all eager to learn and ready to tackle 17 weeks of the hardest kind of work and study to become leaders of men and carry on the great traditions of our Army.
Well, here's a new batch of hopefuls.
They didn't know when they were well off, did they?
Oh, excuse me, buddy. Where do I go?
Go for what, mister? You delivering something?
Myself. I'm a new candidate.
He's delivering himself. He's a new candidate. All bright and shiny and freshly pressed. What do you think we're running here, mister? A fashion show?
Is there any rule here against a guy wearing a clean shirt?
Well, what do you got in there, mister? More clean shirts?
Yeah, and a couple of freshly pressed uniforms.
Well, what are you selling, mister? Your ability or your wardrobe?
I've got a big supply of both, brother.
Well, you'd do better if you had a lot of toothbrushes. You'll need them when they put you to scrubbing the stairs.
You guys new?
Yeah.
What do we do now?
We're waiting to be checked in.
If they don't hurry up, it'll be their loss, not mine. When'd you guys get in?
This morning. Were you on the train?
No, I got in a couple of days ago.
Well, did you gentlemen bring in a load of hay or something?
We're new candidates, sir.
Oh, new candidates, eh? Have you registered yet?
We're waiting for that now.
Oh, take a tip from us, mister. Get out of here while the getting is good. Go back to your old outfits.
Why? We just got here.
That's the only time this place looks good, when you first get here. What's so amusing, mister? Don't you answer when you're spoken to?
No, what's that? I regret that an attack of laryngitis makes it impossible for me to talk. Corporal Walter Williams.
Sorry to hear that, Mr. Williams. Have you gentlemen decided to stick it out?
Well,
We'll give it a whirl as long as we're already here.
Too bad. Too bad.
You have our deepest sympathy, gentlemen.
laryngitis, huh?
Oh, I knew it was coming. That corny routine goes back to the Rover boys. I'll see you guys later. Hello. I said hello. Say, that's wonderful. I always envy any person who can type with all 10 fingers. Me, I can only use 2.
Please,
You wouldn't happen to be the colonel's daughter, would you? That's generally the way it turns out.
No.
Then maybe you can give me some information.
Well, what is it that you want to know?
Have you got a date for dinner?
Look, in case you don't know it, that whistle means you.
Oh, but I'm new here, so how could I be expected to know the rules? Have you got a date for dinner?
Look, you're headed for trouble, soldier. You better get over there.
I've made a career out of trouble, but this is the first time it's ever been worth my while. That is, if you'll have dinner with me tonight. What time shall I pick you up? Think how much easier it would be if you saved all your skill and energy and used it on a piano. Tinkling piano, soft lights.
Didn't you hear that whistle, mister?
Well, sir,
Well, did you?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm new here. I don't know what the whistle means.
An army whistle only blows one tune, mister. Name?
Williams, sir. Walter Williams.
Mr. Williams, you'll fall in over there with the other men as you're supposed to. And you'll stay there until you're assigned.
Yes, sir.
You have the distinction of being the first candidate in the history of OCS to receive a gig before he was even registered.
Carry on.
Yes, sir.
I don't think this will happen again, Miss Harkness.
But it was all so innocent, Lieutenant. I hope he doesn't get into trouble.
Nothing he can't handle. You can be sure of that.
Attention! Ladies and gentlemen, all of you received the school literature when you were registered. It contains regulations, precepts, schedules, what's expected of you. You're to read that on your own time, if you have any. Right now, I want every inch of this place absolutely spotless. That means walls, ceiling, floors, and windows. Use the soap, then the brush, then the mop. I'll hold every man responsible for the territory covered by his cot and his shelf. Carry on.
I thought when I came here I was finished with the scrubbing detail. Now I discovered that to become a shave tail, you got to pass a course in window washing. How is that going to help us give orders?
You won't be giving orders for quite a while yet. There are a few little things to be done first.
Princeton? Dartmouth. I could have sworn. Williams, Camp Horn. Crocker. Glad to know you.
George Edwards, University of Tennessee.
Glad to know you.
Frank Malloy, Williams.
How are you?
My name is Grubinski from Pennsylvania.
University of Pennsylvania?
No, State of Pennsylvania.
My name is Thomas Boulevard Jefferson.
Well, that's quite a name. Are you related to Simon Bolivar?
My great-grandmother was his sister. With that name, a man has to fight to keep the world free. Crocker's my name.
Williams Hahn.
Don't bother introducing me. Attention! Stop gold bricking! The way they taught you to stand at attention where you came from?
Yes, sir.
You satisfied with it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not. Fall out. Move against that post. Put your heels against it. Shoulders. Back of your head. Get your chin in. More. Shoulders back. Chest up. You got it now?
Yes, sir.
That's the way you stand at attention here, mister. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, take your place. And maintain that relaxed position. What's your name?
Candidate Grubinski, sir.
At ease, gentlemen. Plumb line, Mr. Cummings. Look here, Mr. Grubinski. This bedding's out of alignment.
Yes, sir.
Gig for Mr. Grubinski. Your name?
Candidate Crocker, sir.
We're not displaying dust today, Mr. Crocker. Another gig for Mr. Crocker. Rope under his bedding.
Attention!
Your name, mister?
Candidate Jefferson, sir.
Are you satisfied with the way your equipment is laid out, Mr. Jefferson?
Yes, sir.
So am I.
Thank you, sir.
You've given this a good deal of time, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
How long did you spend on those shoes?
45 minutes, sir.
A gig for Mr. Jefferson. In the future, don't waste so much time shining your shoes.
Yes, sir.
At ease. Gentlemen, you've asked for a pair of gold bars, and now you're here to earn them. There's no competing with each other at this school. There's a pair of bars for each and every one of you. All you have to do is prove you're entitled to wear them. You're here to learn to be leaders of men. The work's hard. The discipline's rigid. The regulations are unbending. We'll try to get along with you if you'll try to get along with us.
Attention!
Good luck, gentlemen.
Rest, men. You'll rip off all your old insignia and put this on. This is your OCS insignia, which you will sew on the pocket of your shirt like this. Each of you will also receive a nameplate, which will be worn in this manner. All right, men, here they are. Sure to put the insignia in the center of the pocket. Make sure to center them.
Yeah, I know. After all I went through to be a corporal, now I gotta start at the bottom again.
Don't worry about it. You'll have an angle or two this time tomorrow.
You can say that again, brother.
Boy, it sure is good to get off my feet. I'm not very good at this embroidery.
What's the matter, Grabinski? Didn't your OCS examining board ask you if you could sew?
That's about the only thing they didn't ask me. They were throwing questions at me a mile a minute. Boy, was I scared.
You had no monopoly on it. My board scared me, too.
But they were all yelling at once. Why do you want to go to Officers' Candidate School? You like horses? What's the capital of Delaware? Who is the 22nd President of the United States? You ice skate? Another couple of minutes of that and I'd have gone nuts.
And we're trying to rattle you, that's all. See if you can keep your head. That's an old trick. Well, they sure rattled me. I sometimes wonder how I ever got here.
How'd your board treat you, Malloy?
Good. What camp you from?
No camp.
Well, where are you from? Is it a secret?
Little place you never heard of.
Kind of ambitious, aren't you? The only thing they turn out here are second lieutenants.
Mr. Malloy?
Here?
Come with me, please.
Where to?
Service club. That's the party up there.
Are you sure she asked for Frank Malloy?
That's the name.
Excuse me. You sent for me?
Are you Frank Malloy?
Yes. Of course, now I recognize you. You're Carol Harkness. He always had a picture of you with him.
I'm very glad to meet you.
I thought you lived in Boston.
Well, Mother and I wanted to do our part, and this is where we landed. I work here at the school in the office.
Oh, I was wondering how you knew I was here.
That's how. I saw you at Mission Card, and when I saw where you were from, I knew you were the one. I think I'd have known you anyway, though, from the picture he sent.
Wouldn't you like to go inside and sit down?
Oh, couldn't we walk? I've been sitting all day at a typewriter.
Certainly. Cigarette?
No, thank you.
How's your mother?
Oh, she's all right now.
I'm looking forward to meeting her. He used to read me her letters. She's quite a woman.
Yes, she is.
I was coming to Boston to see you when I got the chance. I have a package. Letters, class ring, a few things of his.
Mother'll be very glad to get them.
I'm sure she will. Where's his captain's bars, too? He was promoted in the field after the Catherine Pass.
He was? Well, when we got that notification from the War Department and it said, Captain Harkness, we thought they'd made a mistake.
No, he was promoted in the field. Not very often they do that.
I'm proud.
I think everybody was. I know we all felt pretty badly when...
Were you with him?
Yes, right with him. Right alongside him. We'd been thrown out of the pass the first time, and this time we had to even things up. Funny how you remember details. This action was early in the morning, and the Jerry mortars were really letting us have it. Shrapnel was flying around like someone was throwing confetti. He got it, and I knew it was pretty bad, so I started giving him first aid. He said, "Well, Sergeant, we finally got them on the run." He managed to reach into his pocket and pulled out a insignia he had taken off a dead German soldier. You know, the kind they wear on their shoulder that shows what outfit they belong to? This one said Africa Corps. He laughed and said, "And Sergeant, this is their first string team." Even at a time like that, he could laugh. That's the reason I'm here, because I want to be like him. As good an officer, and I hope as fine a man.
That's only called a quarters. We've got 15 minutes till lights out.
Anything wrong?
No?
I just thought I'd ask. You look worried.
No, I'm not worried.
Always lonesome in a joint like this at first. Don't let it get you down.
I'll try not to. Thanks.
You like dames? I might be able to fix you up. I got a cute little babe lined up already. Maybe she's got a friend. We could step out with them as soon as we get weekend leave and have some laughs.
You think we got time for that?
Oh, it'll take time. You can't fight this war 24 hours a day, you know.
Some places they're doing it.
Look, old man, relax. Don't be so tense. What you need is some diversion.
That you can supply, huh?
But always. Eagle-Eye Joe, they call me, the boy who never misses a trick. I'm on the campus 5 minutes and I spot a doll. Chassis stacked like a 90 millimeter. I'll ask her to get a friend for you.
Look, don't do me any favors.
No single arm of the service has developed faster than anti-aircraft defense. You must bear in mind, gentlemen, that until 1937, during the Civil War in Spain, air attack and defense were regarded as supplemental to land and sea forces, and therefore almost entirely theoretical. And a town in Spain, Guernica, will be remembered as the turning point in air attack and defense. After Guernica, air defense became the most vital problem of the World War that was drawing closer and closer. Control of the air became a necessity for survival, and an integral part of control of the air was the anti-aircraft artillery. Mr. Malloy, I think you're qualified to cite some recent examples of what I mean.
Rotterdam, Warsaw, Antwerp, Crete, Pearl Harbor. In those cases, control of the air was lost. London, Stalingrad, North Africa are perfect examples in which control of the air was retained. And, of course, in Sicily. I would say that only so long as the air above a country remains free can the earth below remain the same.
That states it very well.
Are these the charts you asked for, sir?
Yes, Mr. Williams.
What Mr. Malloy says is true, of course, but how do you explain the fact that London remained unconquered despite the fact the enemy had control of the air for 5 days and nights? That 25,000 fires were raging, covering 47% of the terrain. That 37.5% of the adult population was without means of contact, communication, or transportation.
Are you asking a question, Mr. Williams, or making a speech?
Asking a question, sir.
Well, these will do very nicely, thank you. We must have her come back often, Mr. Williams, since she seems to bring out the sparkle in you.
What'll it be?
I want a chocolate ice cream soda with chocolate.
Who doesn't? Have a Coke. Yours?
Well, I want what he wants, but I'll take what he takes.
What about you?
I want to return this electric razor. It won't work.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, Miss Burton, Mr. Williams.
Glad to meet you.
Hi.
Say, are you two friends?
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful.
That was an impressive performance you gave in class today.
Well, you noticed it then.
One can't very well not notice an encyclopedia.
Well, thanks. How would you like to do some missionary work, Miss Burton?
Huh?
You know, cheering up a defender of democracy, being nice to a guy in uniform. I've got a severe case of depression for you to work on.
Oh.
A guy that bunks next to me. I think a smile and a whiff of that perfume you wear will work wonders. Double date. Miss Harkness and me, and you and him.
Well, I don't know.
Ready, Carol?
Oh, yes, Frank. Are you coming, Joan?
Wally, you know why this electric razor wouldn't work? I was using lather with it.
From the way he's acting, you'd think another fellow was out with a girl he discovered, wouldn't you?
Lay off, will you?
You sports writers coined a word for this, upset. That's where the favorite loses to the dark horse. I guess you could call Malloy a dark horse, couldn't you?
Now, look, Crocker.
Relax. He's got to be in soon. Call the quarters is already blown. He's probably kissing the girl goodnight right now.
Very funny, very funny. The original man of mystery. Quiet operator, strong, silent type. A little on the Machiavellian side, too. I try to do you a favor and you knife me in the back.
Why don't you shut up?
First, I want to acquaint you with a few of the fundamental rules of sportsmanship. You knew I'd planned to see Carol tonight. It was up to you to lay off.
There's one rule you don't know. Gentlemen don't discuss young ladies in army barracks.
This isn't fun anymore. Any fighting and you know what happens.
You'll get us both washed out of here, Williams. We'll settle this today after we're commissioned, without an audience.
Forget it, Wally. You'll be thrown out here so fast it'll make your head swim. Jonesy. Jonesy.
Huh?
Change cots with me.
What?
Change cots with me.
Boy, I hope I can pick up that dream where I left off.
The reason they make us go through this is to keep our minds off women.
Mr. Kubinski, keep your mouth shut. And drop by the salvage department and turn that thing in.
Yes, sir.
You find that necessary, Mr. Williams?
What, sir?
Referring to your textbook.
Sir? Oh, I see what you mean, sir. Why, no, sir, I wouldn't crib the answers. This is next week's study. I've already finished the examination.
Don't you think you better check these answers?
No, thank you, sir. I'll let them stand.
As a general rule, Mr. Williams, we never let a candidate know how good he is in any examination. The only ones who get any reports at all are those who fail. The only reason we tell them is so they can get special instructions.
Did I fail in mathematics, sir?
Far from it. You seem to have a very special aptitude. This school needs men with your ability as instructors. If you complete the entire OCS course with high standings all around, you may be given the opportunity of remaining here for a year as a mathematics instructor. Would you like that?
Well, sir, I hadn't thought about it.
That's why I sent for you. I want you to keep it in mind. Not much chance to see action for a while, but I think you could do a big job right here. It all adds up to victory, you know.
Yes, sir. I'll think about it, sir.
That's all, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, sir.
At ease. The following candidates will report to special mathematics instructor tonight at 8 o'clock. Allen, Caldwell, Edwards, Indrasano, Malloy, Scarborough. Platoon, change hut. Dismissed.
I guess I'm done for.
Now, look, let's be sensible about this. Nobody's in any danger of being washed out. But let's not take any chances. Now, George and Malloy flunked and the rest of us got by. At the next examination, they may get by and the rest of us will flunk. So the smart thing to do, take out some insurance.
I don't understand.
Organize a coaching combine, a sort of study pool.
You mean, well, a co-op?
All for one and one for all, huh?
Why not? Teamwork. If it's good enough to win the war with, it ought to be good enough to get us through OCS.
Well, that's very unselfish of you, Crocker, but...
Oh, no, I'm anything but unselfish. Because I'm going to need more help than any of you. Somebody's got to help me with my voice. It's not strong enough to give commands, and you get graded in force, too, you know.
Well, naturally, being the imbecile of the crowd, I'm for it 100%.
Yeah, so am I.
Hey, Wally, Crocker just had a swell idea. All of us working together in sort of a co-op. You know, pooling our knowledge so none of us will fail anymore.
No, thanks. I'll sit this one out.
No idea is any good unless that guy thinks of it first.
Depressing. Relax.
Gunnery class in an hour, and you say relax. Elevation angles, trajectory, azimuth.
Oh, if that's all you're worried about, I can help you.
You can't do that. You can't get up and read the answers.
I'm writing a poem for you to memorize.
Poems. I never could remember poems.
You remember your Mother Goose rhymes, don't you? That's what this is. A jingle.
Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater.
Now, gentlemen, I know that some of you have had experience in anti-aircraft artillery before coming to the school. Some others came here from other branches of service and are not familiar with it. So I think we'll proceed just as if none of us knew anything about it. All right, Mr. Jefferson. If we agree that our 90mm is the best AA gun in existence, why don't we use it exclusively? What purpose does the 40mm serve?
Well, there are two entirely different problems for our anti-aircraft guns and fire control equipments to solve. That of firing effectively against high-altitude bombers and firing on low-flying attack planes. Now, the 90 is designed for the high-altitude work, and the 40 is especially effective against the low-flying planes.
Mr. Williams, explain why this is true.
Projectiles fired from the 90mm gun are designed to burst somewhat in the shape of an inverted umbrella, at or just below the point in space where the director has predicted the target will be, like this. While a 40mm gun fires a projectile with a point detonating fuse, which is effective at comparatively lower altitude and explodes upon contact with the target. The 40 is capable of giving concentrated rapid fire against planes within its range and employs the angular travel method of prediction rather than the linear speed method used with the 90s.
Now explain why the 90mm is operated from the right-hand side of the breech.
Because the breech opens automatically from the left, and the firing lever is on the right, necessitating that it be loaded from the right but with the left hand.
Mr. Grabinski?
Yes, sir.
Will you give the salient facts to remember in the operation of the 40mm?
Yes, sir. Well, the 40mm is a semi-automatic. No. It's automatic repeat fire, and well, it's hand operated, and no, it's not. It has a foot trigger, and well, it's a gun.
Granted. Go on.
Well, sir, if I could sort of recite it.
That's why I called on you.
Yes, I know. Well, maybe if I could sort of sing it.
Sing it?
Well, I don't mean like a grand opera, but, well, just sing it.
You may do it any way you wish.
Thank you, sir. Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater. Gun M1, 40mm. Simple Simon, met a pieman going to the fair. Automatic loader and a barrel cooled by air. Winking, blinking, and nod, went to sea on a ship. 120 rounds per minute, 4 rounds to the clip. Baby needs a pair of shoes. Point detonating fuses. Peas porridge cold, peas porridge hot. Fires a high explosive shell or armor piercing shot. Mary cooked a leg of lamb. It busted up her marriage. With 4-wheel brakes and leveling jacks and double axle carriage.
Very good, Mr. Grabinski. Excellent.
did you get your last haircut, mister?
Well, sir.
Well, come alive. When did you get your last haircut, mister?
Monday evening, sir.
Sound off, mister. You afraid someone might hear you?
No, sir.
Gig for this long haircut. Hereafter, Mr. Edwards, get your haircut after Wednesday if you expect to pass Saturday inspection.
Yes, sir.
Wipe that smile off your face, mister. Gig for Mr. Williams, smiling in ranks. See your fingernails, mister. If you wear a watch, mister, see that it keeps correct time.
Yes, sir.
Another gig. Watch, 1 minute fast. Mr. Malloy, how long have you been in service?
3 years, 2 months, sir.
When did you shave last, mister?
This morning, sir.
Do you always cut yourself when you shave, mister?
No, sir.
Gig for Mr. Grabinski, destroying government property.
I'm going to dive in that cold shower and stay there for the duration.
I'll see you later.
Aren't you going with us?
Too hot.
Hey, forget your studies for a while. This is our first weekend leave. We're going to the beach and have some fun.
Sure, I need to study more than you do, but I'm passing it up for the weekend.
Next time.
So long, fellas.
You too?
There's a certain course I need brushing up on.
Teddy's. What's the matter, Mr. Grabinski? I thought all of you were off for the weekend.
Well, sir.
Well, you need to relax some.
But I need to study more, sir. I don't want to have to recite verse again. I appreciate you letting me get by with it the last time.
Well, that was a little out of line, but we try to consider the human equation. That's why I think you should get out of here. Go to the movies or a dance. Don't you like those things?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, of course I do.
Well, then why are you working so hard?
Well, sir, you see, when I told my father I was coming here to try to become an officer in the United States Army, his face lit up like a Christmas tree. I don't want to see that light go out, sir.
Neither do I, mister. Come to my office in 15 minutes and we'll see what we can do about it.
Not bad for a silk stocking.
Boy, if you could shoot dice the way you shoot that gun.
All right. I'm the goat. How much?
Let's see, 16 racks at 25 and 2 at 50 on account of the contest. 575.
Wait a minute. Are you sure you added that up right?
Certainly, 575.
Figure it out on paper.
Listen, wise guy, I can figure.
Give him $5. And I got a box of candy coming because I knocked down 20 in a row.
Look, Tin Soldier, the bill is 575 and no candy.
Why no candy?
Because he leaned against the counter. That's why no candy.
Any rule about not leaning on the counter?
I just made the rule. Now pay me and beat it.
Let's get away from here. Here's $6.
I'll take those GI windows apart.
Listen, mister, those boys will get kicked out of school if they...
That's their headache.
Well, now you shouldn't take advantage of the rules to hijack them.
right, move back. Move back. Get going.
I believe the time has come to say farewell to the beach.
What's the matter, soldier? No rules against civilians fighting, is it?
We thought some of the OCS boys were mixed up in this.
Your error.
Yeah. Looks like it.
What a night. Just doesn't seem possible that in a lot of places in the world, this kind of a night's filled with death and destruction. Warm summer breezes, full moon, beautiful sky, and guys yelling bombs away in all different languages. What a shame.
Do you really feel that deeply about it? Or is this just another opportunity for you to demonstrate your lyrical prowess?
Why are you so suspicious of everything I say? Isn't it barely possible that just once, accidentally, I might be sincere about something?
I doubt it.
I'm anxious to know what's back of this. You spent the whole afternoon and what we've used of the evening fighting to convince yourself that everything I've said's been said only to impress you.
I didn't have to fight very hard.
It's sort of a contest then, and you've made up your mind you're going to win.
Can be put that way.
All right, you've won. I default. You mind if I take you home?
Yes, I do mind.
Look, I took you to lunch and dinner. I've amused you for a period of hours. I've done enough for you. Now it's my turn to be amused. I'll take you home, then I'll go see a movie.
You don't want to see a movie. You want to ditch me so you can try to find a girl who'll be less difficult. It's true, isn't it?
Of course it isn't true.
In that case, I'm ready to be ditched.
I'm not. Look at all the time we wasted fighting.
It wasn't wasted. I found out a lot about you.
For example?
Well, that you have a terrific ego. You use those high-sounding phrases without the faintest idea of what they really mean.
Here we go again.
You're completely self-sufficient. You've reduced life to a two-way struggle between yourself and all the rest of the world.
They don't pay off on failures.
Tell me something. Why did you come to OCS?
Might as well go first class. What's the sense of being an enlisted man when it's just as easy to be an officer? That doesn't disappoint you, does it? Is that what you wanted me to say?
You don't take any pride in the school at all. Instead of the candidates being members of your team whom you should help, they're just a lot of guys to show up, huh? Dog eat dog.
So you heard about that?
That student pool they wanted you to help with? Yes, I heard about it.
I noticed you see Malloy occasionally in the PX, but I'd no idea he kept you so well informed. If you two have so much in common, it seems a little odd that he'd let you have a date with me. Those big, strong men are jealous, you know.
Look, there's nothing between Malloy and me. He's just a friend of my brother, that's all. He happened to be in the same outfit.
Outfit? What outfit? You mean in the Army?
Yes, in North Africa. My brother was killed in action, and Malloy was with him when he died. Naturally,
Malloy in North Africa? Was your brother a captain?
Yes.
I see. First call.
Off them and on them. Let's go.
Hit the floor, you white apes. Get your minds off the broad.
Come on, Jake. We're going with them up this morning.
What kind of a time did you have?
Oh, we went to the beach, saw a couple of movies, slept at noon yesterday. What'd you do?
Hung around here, slept a little, studied a little. Wasn't bad.
Here, try this.
Can you spare it?
Sure, take it.
Thanks.
You bet.
A lot of character for him to give something away, isn't it?
That's what I was thinking, especially to me.
George, you better step on it. You'll be late.
So who cares?
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Then get dressed. Those gigs are piling up on you. You don't want any more, do you?
That'll be all right, too, I guess.
What's the matter with you? This is an important day. We're finally going to fire those 40s and 90s at Sears Landing.
I don't care what they fire. Look, will you please go away and leave me alone?
I was just trying to help. I don't want to see you get washed out of here, that's all.
When'd you start caring about what happens to anybody else?
Okay, if that's the way you feel. That's what I get for sticking my chin out.
Wait a minute, Wally.
I've got to show this to somebody or I'll go crazy. This was waiting for me when I came back last night.
Darling, I've been so lonely and unhappy since you left. I've tried to... Why do you let a goofy dame like this upset you? You got no problem. Brush her off.
Yeah, but you don't understand. That letter's from my mother.
Your mother? This is from your mother?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Oh, she's always writing me letters like that. Every outfit I've ever been in. Threatening to kill herself.
But doesn't she realize you can't do what she wants you to do? There's a war on. This is the Army.
Well, I've tried to tell her that.
But can't your father make her cut out this kind of stuff?
Oh, he tries. Doesn't do any good.
We'll be late for mess. Shake it up. We'll talk about this later. Here you go.
I wonder what Sears Landing is like.
Oh, I've heard it's beautiful. Long stretches of green lawn and flower beds.
Yeah?
Sure, and after we get through firing, we all cool off in the swimming pool.
Kind of anticlimactic for you, isn't it, Malloy?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, to a guy who's been through the real thing in North Africa, this must seem pretty silly.
What else did Carol tell you?
That was all. Oh, yes, she did say something about you being a friend of the family. Looks like I owe you an apology for the way I acted that night in the barracks. At the time, I was under the impression that you had a romantic interest in her. Now that I know you're not a rival, everything's different.
Nothing's different, Williams. Not a thing. I went by to see her last night after you'd left.
What?
I hate to tear down your playhouse, but I want to let you know where I stand. I'm still trying to convince her that you're a heel.
Are you having any luck?
No, but then I don't get discouraged easily.
Thanks for everything.
Don't mention it.
Examine equipment.
Having gun.
Report. Firing mechanism in order.
Reversing mechanism in order.
Elevation mechanism in order.
Report.
Gun in order.
Range equipment in order.
Prepare for action.
Load.
Target. Flag is up. Commence firing.
Engage. Engage, George.
Watch it, Edwards. Commence firing.
Cease firing. Flag is down.
Cease firing. Keep your mind on your business. There's no time for that now. Cut it out.
Mr. Williams, take your section to the 90s.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I don't want to see you asleep on the job again.
On your toes with those 90s, George. They're dynamite.
You're not going to use George in the 90s, are you? We got to work together like a team.
You know what happens if he gets set back. Keep an eye on him. Tell the other guys.
To the rear of the pace. All in.
Examine gun. Report.
Elevation mechanism in order.
Breach in order.
Munition in order.
George. George.
Fuse set in order.
Reversing in order.
Get that can of oil out of there, George. Sir, number 1 gun in order.
Sir, number 1 gun in order.
Cease firing! Call a standby ambulance, Crocker.
What's the matter? What happened?
Don't know anything about this, you understand? It was my fault.
Mr. Williams, call a standby ambulance.
It's on the way, sir.
Here they come, Captain. Here they come. Captain.
Is he badly hurt, sir? No, he's suffering from shock mostly.
Captain. I'm not going to leave you, Captain.
You sure he's all right, sir? All that stuff he's saying.
Well, that's good. He should let it out. He's been living with it for a long time. Is there anything we can do, sir? Oh, don't worry about him. It'll take more than a few broken ribs to stop that Irishman. I'll let you know if there's any change. Thank you, sir.
Well, gentlemen, that accident might have been fatal. You've read all the reports and heard from his battalion commander. Any further comment?
It's my definite opinion, sir, that Candidate Edwards is not officer material. His lack of attention to duty was solely responsible for this.
I agree that he's not officer material, sir. He's far below the average academically. It's almost impossible for him to concentrate on any job. He seems to be living with a tragedy of some kind. I've had several talks with him trying to root out the trouble, but he simply will not cooperate.
The board votes for dismissal. Any dissent? So ordered.
I'll be packing too after they even give a few commands.
Me too.
Well, my train leaves in an hour. I've got to report to the transportation officer.
We're going to the station with you.
No, don't waste the time. Besides, I'd rather go alone. So long.
Goodbye.
Bye, George. So long.
Take it easy, George.
Good luck, old man.
Good luck, George. See you again.
It was all my fault, sir. I don't want to see a man get washed out when I'm to blame.
I understand your feelings, Mr. Williams. If the board thought this was your fault, rest assured you'd be held responsible.
But, sir, I assigned him to post when probably I shouldn't have.
Mr. Williams, the point is you did assign him. Now, I appreciate the spirit which brings you here, but you mustn't brood about this. It's better to discover weakness here than jeopardize lives on the battlefield. That's one reason for all this training.
He told me he wasn't feeling well, sir.
Well, he should have reported sick.
But, sir, isn't there any...
The case is closed, Mr. Williams, that is all.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, George. I tried to explain to the colonel.
Forget it, Wally. It's just one of those things. Couldn't be helped.
But you can come back. You can make another application, if not for this school, for some other. They've got officer schools all over.
No, it's no use, Wally. Just be the same thing all over again. As long as I'm in the Army, it'll be...
Stop fighting it, kid. Go on, let it go. Make you feel better.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Is this where I get the bus to Camp Davis?
Yeah. Where are you from?
Camp Bowie, sir, Texas.
You don't have to say sir to an officer candidate, mister.
You don't?
No.
Well, I didn't know. Didn't want to take any chances. Didn't want to get off on the wrong foot.
Uh-huh.
May I smoke?
You don't have to ask permission to smoke, either.
Well, how long you been here?
8 weeks.
8 weeks? I wish I was that far along. I sure dread the first few days. You know, getting acquainted, learning the ropes. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's it. Let me give you a hand.
I can manage. Are they pretty rough on the new men? Do they, haze them?
You've either been reading the wrong books or somebody shot too much breeze at you. There's no hazing at Camp Davis. The new men get a lot of solid pressure put on them, but that's just to see if they can take it.
Coming to a new place like this makes a guy a little nervous. I was just wondering.
You'll be all right as long as you play ball with the other men. It's a great school. A great bunch of fellas. You work about 18 hours a day, but then you've got to work to crowd 4 years' education into 17 weeks.
Oh, sure. That's the last of my worries, working. I don't mind work.
Then you'll get along.
I feel a whole lot better after talking to you. Do you suppose you might show me where to go when we get there? I'd appreciate it.
Sure. I'll show you. I'll see that you don't get lost.
If everybody's as nice as you are, it's sure gonna be wonderful.
Sir, Candidate Williams requests permission to see Candidate Malloy.
Well, he needs rest. That's why I took these away from him. Make it short.
Thank you, sir.
May I come in?
Sure.
How you feel?
Okay.
I just want to tell you how sorry I am about everything.
So am I.
It's a tough break. Exams coming up and you missing all this time for classes. I thought I might be able to help you, so you wouldn't get set back.
Why?
Well, you want to graduate with us, don't you?
Only on my own. Look, Williams, I don't know what your game is, but whatever it is, I don't want any part of it. I told you once before that as far as I'm concerned, nothing's changed between us. You weren't my kind of guy then, and you're not my kind of guy now.
That ought to be plain enough.
It ought to be.
Hello, Wally.
Hello, Cal.
Did you see him?
Yes, I saw him.
How is he?
Oh, he's fine. Don't worry about him. He's in great shape.
Uh-oh, now what's happened?
I offered to help him with his studies, and he practically threw me out of the room.
Well, you know, he's had a pretty rough time of it, Wally. He's not himself. That accident was...
You're not naive enough to think that accident had anything to do with it, are you?
Well, I don't think I know what you mean.
You don't? He's in love with you. Don't you know that?
Yes.
That's why he dislikes me, because I've been seeing you. He seems to be afraid that I'll drag you down to my level.
You're imagining things. You two should be friends, Wally.
I did everything I could. Practically crawled on my hands and knees.
Look, please come back in with me and let me try to patch things up, huh?
I don't stick my chin out but once.
But he needs help.
Sorry. Let him get off the way he got on.
You'll just have to get it. I hate to see you wash out just because you can't give commands.
I can manage military bearing, posture, and appearance pretty well, but when it comes to giving commands, I just get hoarse.
You're hoarse already?
Still hoarse from yesterday.
Well, just take it easy. You'll get it.
Turn, hop. Extend, hop. Left, hey.
At ease. Gentlemen, many of you need work on voice commands. I needn't tell you that this is just as important as any other subject. Mr. Scott.
Yes, sir.
Move your squad over by that grove of trees and have each man give a few commands, which the rest of the platoon will execute. Mr. Porter, form your platoon in 2 ranks and fall in with them. Move out.
Now get this. It's not how loud you yell. It's how you phrase it that's important.
You mean like in singing?
I don't know nothing about singing. All I know is hollering. But if you bark them out right, you can talk just above normal and be heard a mile. Now, let's try a series of commands. Take a deep breath. Now, call a platoon to attention and dress it up just as if you were actually out there drilling the men.
Platoon, attention. Left, face. Forward, march.
Try to get more of a bark out of your voice like this. Platoon, halt! Right, haste! Now you try some and put some snap in your voice.
Forward, march. Halt. Backward, march. Halt. Right, face. Forward, march.
More down here and less up here.
Platoon, halt. Caliber force to the left, march. Column left, march. Platoon, halt. Right, pace. Forward,
Double time! Halt!
Why, there's nothing to worry about. Come on, Nose! Come on!
Well, see you later, Carol.
Surprise.
Oh, Frank, when did you get out?
Today, the doctor taped me up and threw me out.
Well, sit down. I'm just leaving. It's nice to see you up and around, soldier.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Say, isn't this rushing things a little?
I had to get back to my classes. I've missed too much already. No cinch.
Especially when you try to do it alone. Oh, I mean, you have so much time to make up.
I know what you're getting at, Carol. I told you once before I don't want any help from him.
But this is so important to you.
Anybody but Williams, yes. I won't be patronized. I won't have anybody helping me because I feel sorry for him.
He's not patronizing you, Frank. He wants to see you commissioned. He really does.
You got it bad, haven't you?
Does it show?
It gets worse every time I see you. Curious thing about the Wallies of this world. They finagle, they work angles, they spend their lifetime getting into jams, and they always come out on top. When it's all over, someone like you is always sticking to them.
Oh, he's a kid, Frank. He's a sensitive little kid who more than anything else in the world, wants people to like him. All that swagger he puts on. That's a defense mechanism to avoid being hurt. There's a lot of good there the proper person could bring out.
Yeah, that's typical, Carol, wanting to marry a man to reform him. The scientists call that a clinical interest. Well, might be an interesting experiment.
Well, I'm afraid it'll be slightly more than an experiment. I wish you'd give him a chance, Frank.
I'm getting along all right on my own. Let's leave it like that. Want to walk me to class?
Why don't you settle down? How can I settle down? I'm a worried man. My family's coming in to see me graduate, and I don't even know if I'm going to graduate. The tailor promised to have my new uniform here at noon today. It's 1 o'clock, and he hasn't come.
You have no worries, amigo. In the first place, you'll graduate because they'll be glad to be rid of you. In the second place, you have leave, and you can deliver your own uniform.
As a matter of fact, you can come with me. I have to pick mine up, too.
Swell.
Snap out of it, Frank. You'll make it.
I wish I felt that sure of it.
Is that any way for the future chief of the general staff to talk?
First, you have to be a second lieutenant.
No good brooding. The exams are over.
If I do get by, it'll be a miracle. I missed a bunch of math questions. They'll pull my average down around the danger point.
Forget it. Look at what some of those great Civil War generals did at West Point. U.S. Grant, 54th or 55th in a class of 70. Robert E. Lee, 20th. But they did great when they got into action.
Hello. Cal here?
No, she just stepped out. She'll be back in a minute.
Do you mind if I wait?
No, sit down.
Thanks.
All set for the graduation tomorrow?
Yeah.
Solid gold bars, new uniform and everything?
Sure, big steak, bottle of wine, dance all night.
What?
What?
Well, what's a bottle of wine and a big steak got to do with graduation?
Who's talking about graduation?
Oh, take it easy, brother. Take it easy. The man with the butterfly net will be after you if you don't watch out. So long.
Goodbye.
Wally, you're a little early, aren't you?
Look, Carol, something's just come up. Supposing I pick you up at your house.
Well, what's the matter? What's
Well, I'll explain to you later in about an hour. Is that all right?
Yes.
I'll see you then.
What's going on here, mister? Are you finished with those papers?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you've been making those exceptional grades. Doctoring your examination papers.
Have you anything further to say, Mr. Williams?
No, sir.
Then you admit that you deliberately sneaked into the office and changed your examination papers after you had access to the answers?
I do, sir.
Is that all that 17 weeks here have taught you? Never before in the history of this school or any other candidate school has such a thing happened. You've disgraced yourself, your fellow candidates, and the officers of the school. The board has voted to expel you.
May I have the colonel's permission to say something, sir?
You may.
I request that I be assigned to combat duty as soon as possible.
You may be sure of it. Return to your quarters and wait orders.
Yes, sir.
Hello, mister.
Oh, hello, Thompson. How are you?
Dressing up for the graduation tomorrow?
Yeah.
Everybody else in the class is out celebrating. They won't feel so good when they walk up to get those commissions. You're smart to stay in.
That's the way I figured.
Sure must be wonderful, having all this behind you.
Yeah.
Say, anything I can do for you tomorrow? I'll come over if you say so. Might be a last-minute errand or something you'll need done.
No, thanks.
Well, just thought I'd ask. Good night, mister.
Good night.
Do we sit down here?
What place are you looking for?
Isn't this the place where they graduate?
Our son is going to be an officer.
Well, this is the place, but you're way too early.
We don't mind.
No, we don't mind.
Neither do I. Sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Can we eat now, Mama? No. We wait till 12 o'clock when the whistle blows.
You have your orders?
Yes, Sergeant.
The train leaves at 12:30. Sign that. Don't forget to take off that OCS insignia and put on your old rank before you go.
I was waiting till the others left the barracks.
rushed out for cheating. When?
Yesterday. I thought there was something funny. He stayed in camp last night instead of celebrating.
Oh, that's impossible. Why should he cheat? He's the smartest man in class.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe he cheated all along.
Who told you?
Fellow in the transportation office. He's being shipped out today. He said he was before the board yesterday.
That doesn't make sense to me.
He pleaded guilty.
Well, what did you expect? Come on, we have to step on it.
Candidates and guests will please rise. Candidates, uncover. Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I,
Frank Malloy,
having been appointed temporarily as second lieutenant in the Army of the United States,
having been appointed temporarily as second lieutenant in the Army of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
do solemnly swear
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear
true faith and allegiance
to the same.
That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Be seated. The candidates will now file to the platform and receive their letters of appointment and certificates of completion of the officer candidate course.
John Allen, Herbert Cole, Michael Crocker, Arthur Gordon, Alexander Grubinski,
That's Alex!
Thomas Bolivar Jefferson, Frank Malloy, John Morgan, Albert Norton, James Oliver,
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and grant you his peace. Amen.
Congratulations.
Papa, congratulations, Alex.
Hiya, Stephanie.
You pinned the collar, I pinned the cap.
Oh, well, this is man's world.
Half of him is mine.
Hey, what is this?
Solid gold.
Papa.
What'd you ask for in your preference car?
Overseas, of course. My old outfit. His old outfit. I still don't know how I made it.
Carol, there's something cockeyed about all this. I never liked Wally, but nobody can ever make me believe he cheated.
They caught him. He admitted it.
Oh, just the same.
Please, let's not talk about it.
Sorry.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir. I guess I was pretty lucky.
Still modest, isn't it? After that math paper you turned in, I wouldn't call it luck. 24 questions out of 25 right means hard work.
My paper? 24 out of 25 right?
You see what I mean?
Oh, wait a minute, sir. There's something wrong here. I checked my answers after the examination. I must have missed at least 15 questions. That's why I was so worried. Could I see that paper, sir?
What is this? It's all over now.
Could I, sir?
Of course. Here we are. Do you recognize him?
No, sir.
It has your name on it.
Yes, sir. It's my paper, all right, but these are not my answers.
Not yours.
No?
May I see candidate Williams' paper?
Yes. See why not?
It is the same. That's what happened. He didn't fake his own paper. He faked this one. Yours.
Yeah, see? He scratched out my answers, which were wrong, and substituted the right ones.
This is bad news. You know what may happen when this grade's revised. You may be washed out yourself.
Yes, sir. I insist this case be reopened.
All right. Let's see if we can speak to Colonel Summer.
He did it because of me, sir. He didn't want me to be washed out.
What he didn't know, Lieutenant Malloy, is there was no chance of your washing out. Your average was good enough to pass you, even if you'd missed most of the math questions. I don't mind telling you that every efficiency report rated you superior in leadership and attention to duty, and that's what counts. Now, we're not likely to let a few questions in mathematics stand in the way of developing a first-class line officer.
Excuse me, sir, but isn't there some way that...
I'm afraid not. Lieutenant Martin, what time does Corporal Williams' train leave?
12:30, sir.
That's 1 hour from now.
Thank you, sir, for the time you've given us. Wally. Oh, Wally, why did you?
What are you talking about?
We know all about it.
I know it can't help now, Wally, but will you shake?
Sure.
I'm sorry you did it, taking the rap like that.
You're cut out to be an officer. Me, I gotta learn to be a soldier first.
I hope we fall in the same outfit someday, Wally.
Do you? Do you really?
Sure.
That's swell.
Well, you two haven't much time. So long and good luck.
Good luck to you, Frank.
I'm proud of you, Wally. Will you try to come back?
Will I? Just as soon as I can.
I'll be waiting.
I'll write you every day.
You'd better.